do so many of them, and yeah, really collectible. So it's this little suitcase thing, which is cool because it comes with the little suitcase optional part thing. Obviously, it's not a transformer; it doesn't transform into the suitcase. That would be dumb. But these are great, and especially collectability wise, it's always good to get the Tamashii Nations exclusives. And obviously, if you're a you're a completionist, you're gonna get like a zillion Iron Mans anyway. So, and this one just came out once again from Bandai SH Figuarts. If you haven't gotten an SH Figuarts, man, what are you doing with your life? Seriously, this thing is it is the bee's knees. If bees had knees, I love these things so much. I want to open it, but I can't. With the Tamashii Nations exclusives, anytime you get them from us in the store, we do save the little shipping box for you, so that way it can be complete. If you're just one of those guys that only buys stuff to sell on the internet, hey, it's up to you. This thing right here is going to set you back right around $90, but it's $90 out the door. We'll pay the tax for you. Really cool one. Once again, in-store purchases only. It's the Iron Man Mark V. It just came out. Tamashii Nations exclusive. I know I keep saying it's an exclusive, but you can come here and buy it if you like. Whatever you want to do, it's all good. So they just started with Bandai SH Figuarts to release some of the Last Jedi figures. These are important because they are going to be freaking awesome. First one we got, the Praetorian Guard. So it's funny, Trey at the store likes to call this guy Lunch Pail Head because he looks like he's got a lunch pail for a head. He's a bit like the Red Hood. So I don't know how well people are going to react to this figure other than the fact that it is SH Figuarts, so it's badass. But I have a feeling this might be a figure that sits for a little while until we see him or her, my bad, in the movie. If they do all sorts of cool badass ninja stuff, then these are going to be a hot commodity. They come with multiple weapons. One is like a whip, and then it comes with a double staff bladed bow, and then like two like halves, like a full sword and like two like choppy like half sword kind of things, which is really cool. I like that there's no like lightsaber. It's cool. They're not going to overdo it with all the lightsaber stuff. Like you get a lightsaber and you get a lightsaber and you get a lightsaber. It's nice that the Praetorian Guard's just going to be bladed weapon only. They're not relying on everybody who's force sensitive and whatnot. So that's the Praetorian Guard. Really cool figure. Just came out from SH Figuarts. Soon we should have the Rey as well, which I'm really excited to see the Rey figure. So we got another Stormtrooper. I know people are like, oh god, another Stormtrooper. Especially if you watch this show more than once, you've seen SH Figuarts Stormtroopers. Difference is though, this is the Executioner Trooper, as you can tell by the little black stripe on his head. He comes with multiple weapons, including the big ass Executioner blade. The only thing that kind of sucks with this figure, well, one, nothing. But if you had to pick something, it would be this. The way that it's supposed to be in the movie is in between the things come out of his end and then it's got like a piece of lightning in between it essentially, and that's what he uses for like the choppy. The only problem with this obviously is it just looks like it's two pieces of metal sticking forward because they didn't do any effect in between there. I would have liked it more if there would have been an effect in between each piece of metal. I think it would have just kind of translated a little better. As I was talking to my import guy today, he was telling me that they just keep upping the game with the First Order Trooper. He has every Star Wars one they've ever done. He has them all. And he took this one out, played with it, and he said it was absolutely fantastic. He's like, man, they just keep making better and better ones. Like the posability on this thing is absolutely exceptional, apparently. So if you're looking for more Stormtroopers, especially to build an army, definitely add the Executioner Trooper to your little list. The Executioner Trooper will set you back right around $70 out the door. The Praetorian Guard is closer to $80. I believe it's 70 and 85. Yep, 70 and 85. But if you get them both, if you act now, I'll throw in a honey baked ham. No. The way that it works here is they're starting to do these now with bundles. So if you get both of these guys, it's $155, and people are like, that's not a deal. Why is that a deal? That's stupid. Well, for one, we pay the tax for you, so you save money that way. And for two, you get two BB2. Or another BB hate, as I've been calling these little guys. This guy comes free if you buy the bundle. So if you get the bundle from us, you get a little free guy. That's really like the only way to get these. Like even if you go to other sites for SH Figuarts, like the only way to get one of these is to buy a bundle. Like some people will buy them and then sell this guy separate, which is fine. You can do whatever you want, or you can buy a bootleg if you like. But then you'd be missing out on two like awesome figures. I mean, these things are amazing, and I'm hoping the Praetorian Guard turns out to be a badass and they don't Captain Phasma him or her like last time. So yeah, Dan was excited today because lots of SH Figuarts stuff, and, you know, I can't say enough good things about SH Figuarts. They are wonderful. I love them so much. DC Direct, obviously, is still doing a lot of, like, the TV figures and stuff. And I just want to say how impressed I am with this figure. And I'm generally impressed with a lot of the DC Direct stuff because they've been doing a better job. But now they've been starting to raise the prices, and raising the prices, you know, brings its own kind of headache. But with this, we got ourselves a Kid Flash figure. Yep, it's Wally West. The best thing about this is the head sculpts on this figure are absolutely fantastic. Me and Trey, the owner here at Warp 9, we were talking about the second head that it came with. It looks just like him. Especially for like a $28 figure, they did an excellent job. I mean, it's not like super perfect. It's not like, oh my god, it's like a hot toy. No, it's not that, because if they were going to do that, it would be a lot more money. But I can tell you, for an affordable figure, this thing is freaking awesome, man. They did an excellent job with the second head, and even the first head looks really good too. Gary, one of our big toy guys that comes here and buys a lot of toys, he was even commenting about how much he likes this, and he's been collecting toys, you know, for quite a while, especially DC toys. So, you know, get them while they're hot, because I can tell you what happened with the regular Flash figure, which we now have some back in stock. It's going to be the same thing with the Kid Flash figure. About 2 winters ago, kids started wanting them for Christmas, or even, you know, adult collectors started wanting them for Christmas. Then you couldn't find them anywhere, and that was a big problem. So if you can get them now, because a lot of times they'll sell out of the distributor, and then you can't get any more until after Christmas. So just want to give you a heads up. And in a couple weeks here, I'm going to do a what I think would be a fun little gift idea stream, and we'll talk about that, and I'll post to the YouTube of, like, you know, I don't know, top 10 gifts for a nerd this season or something. It's still in the infancy phase, but I'm going to try to do that too. But this might make the list. You never know. So really cool Wally West Kid Flash figure just came out. Run you back about $28 plus tax. You can find it either here at Warp 9 or you know, any of your local comic shops. Prefer to keep it at your local comic shop, so folks, stay off Amazon, people. Support, otherwise we all disappear. And we all disappear, well, I guess I'll just go back to, I don't know, Murder for Hire or something. Another one that came out in the DC Legends line, we got the White Canary figure. This one only comes with a couple of sets of hands, but you know, there's really no point to give her a second head, I guess, because she doesn't really wear a mask in the Legends, because she's like, I can just leave time, so I'll just do that. Cool little figure. It does come with her bow staff, which is pretty sweet. So if you've been looking for a Legends figure like the White Canary, $28 once again. You know, everything the DC Direct TV line will run you about $28 plus tax. So cool little figure. Head sculpt's pretty good. It does look a lot like Katie. It's not absolutely perfect, but once again, it's $28. It's more of an affordable figure. It's not gonna be the most amazing thing ever. I did like this figure a lot. I'm not big on the head sculpt, but everything else is really cool. We got our Atom figure, and once again, I like when they add like little effects. You know, I know to some people they can look a little hokey, but the cool thing is about effects is you can usually use effects with other figures if you know, get creative and whatnot. And I like that a lot. Like that to me is fun, because you get to include all sorts of things in all your other play sets and stuff. So Atom figure, once again, $28 DC Direct. Set you back a little bit, but it's worth it. It's a cool little figure for sure. I can't really attest to the posability of these, because obviously, you know, I'm such a slappy for figure arts. I'm like, well, it's not as good as figure arts. I'm turning into that douche. But hey, you know, everyone's got to have a canoe. So does this douche. So anyway, let's move on to some comic stuff. Going a little fast tonight. There wasn't a ton of release stuff, guys, this week, so that's why it actually worked out to do this on Friday. Mainly because of, you know, it wasn't a super heavy release week, but I do got some stuff to talk about, or mainly just talk at you about, I guess. Keep in mind, stick around until the end, because if you didn't see it when I first started, I'm giving away a All-Star Batman #1 signed by Scott Snyder, and it has the certificate of authenticity. No, you do not have to be in the state to win. I will mail it to you. I don't care. So let's start with some DC stuff. There's actually quite a bit of DC stuff. We got our second issue of, doesn't come with a tiny version. Oh, you know what? I didn't even check. No, it doesn't come with a tiny version. You know what? I think Trey was saying that too. That he would have preferred the Adam figure come with like a little tiny version. I kind of I get it. That would have been pretty awesome. And I think they've done stuff like that in the past. Unfortunately, not this time. So no, Mr. Mike. Sorry, brother. Next thing. So we got our second issue of Batman the White Knight. And for those of you who haven't been reading Batman the White Knight, it's done by one person, Sean Gordon Murphy. He's doing the pencils, everything, writing it. Cool little story about the Joker cures himself to prove to Batman that Batman is the problem in Gotham City and it's not the Joker. This issue kind of answers some questions about his relationship with Harley and what he was going to do now that he's cured. And it was a cool little twist on it about, how the Joker wouldn't even notice if Harley was gone and stuff because he's such a freaking psychotic narcissist and whatnot. The quality continues to be there. It's definitely really cool so far. I wouldn't go so far as saying it's making Batman the bad guy yet, but we'll see going into it. And obviously the Joker's got to keep his psychosis under control by medication because, let's face it, he is batshit nuts. So second issue, this is going to be an 8-issue storyline. So far 1s and 2s have been really good. So if you haven't started reading it, definitely check it out. I think you might like it. They're $3.99 a piece. We still have number 1s in stock here too. If you haven't been to the store, please feel free to swing by. Continuing with our line of Dark Knight's metal figures. Well, comics. I've been calling them, villains, I guess. This one is Batman the Devastator. Well, everyone looks at him, they're like, wow, he looks like Doomsday. You got it. Got it in one. Batman the Devastator is essentially, instead of combining Batman with Superman like they've been doing other ones, like the Red Death with Flash and all that stuff, instead, it's what would Batman do if he decided he needed to put Superman down for good. If you've been following DC through New 52 stuff, there was this virus created called the Doomsday virus, which essentially infected people and made them into Doomsday. Batman synthesizes that, becomes Doomsday. Spoiler alert, my bad. But still, it's all about that, and then essentially it drops a little bit more hints about what's going on in Metal, and also how he came to be in our universe. I think we only have 2 more of these single standalones. I would rate this one probably a little bit towards the bottom, but like I've said before, it's not because it's bad. It's just because everything else has been so goddamn good. I would still probably put the Drowned. This is just for me. I would put the Drowned at the very top, Red Death just below that, and then get into Murder Machine. I love the Murder Machine, but the Drowned was my favorite just because it was such a unique take on the Batman franchise. So yes, Dark Knight's metal tie-in, Batman the Devastator is a one-shot. Sets you back about $4, but it is worth it. It is definitely worth it. So continuing, a long time ago they announced that DC was going to start revamping some of the Hanna-Barbera stuff because, they have the properties. Why not use them? They were going to make them a little bit more accessible to adults. Some of the stuff has swung and missed big time. Other stuff like the Flintstones, I thought was absolutely fantastic. It's a book that nobody read, but goddamn was it hilarious. The Jetsons is a bit in line with the Flintstones. It's going to be more of a unique take. Rosie is actually their grandmother, which is interesting, and it talks about the idea of humans transferring their consciousness into robots. I know, it's the freaking Jetsons, and it's talking about all sorts of Blade Runner shit. And then you got, Astro, Elroy, Jane is a super duper scientist. It's really cool, man. The first issue I enjoyed a lot, and I'm really looking forward to playing around in this universe a little bit more. Just seeing it more of on a perspective of, what if it was just a real sci-fi show? And I love that. I really do. And it talks a bit about what happened to the Jetsons' Earth. Why do they live in these cities that are in the clouds? It talks about the history of that. Really, really fun so far. So it was a great little debut issue. It's only going to be 6 issues long, so let's hope the sales kind of keep up on it, so that way we get more stories like this, because this was inventive for sure. I wasn't a fan of when they did Scooby Apocalypse and all that other jazz, but I really like the Jetsons so far, and that's not just me being a slappy because I love the Jetsons, because who doesn't love the Jetsons, With the hero of the entire thing, Astro. So check that out for sure. Really, really cool. We got another start of another little 6-issue miniseries in DC. Doing a lot of miniseries tonight, but that's okay. Black Lightning, Gold Dead Hands. Cold dead hands? Cold dead hands. Ha ha ha. I saw the thing. I thought it said gold. Anyway. 6-issue miniseries. It's very much, obviously, with Black Lightning getting ready to make his big television debut, or if it's internet debut. I think it's just on the internet, but whatever. Either way, they obviously had to do a tie-in book to get people a little more familiar with the character, which is great, because the character is fantastic. He is Cleveland's superhero. I know. Does Cleveland really need a superhero? Probably. But anyway. So this kind of talks about his relationship with the police department, relationship with his city, and he runs afoul of a neighborhood crime boss, and it goes from there. It's a straightforward superhero story, but it's very, very well done, especially for a debut issue. The art is done by Clayton Henry, which is a very solid opening salvo as far as this series goes. The writer is Tony Isabella, and colorist was Pete Pantazza. So if you've ever been familiar with Black Lightning, if you like the character, you're going to enjoy this, in my opinion. He's got a newer suit, a little more streamlined, no more of the big pop collar thing looking like Nightwing in the 70s or whatnot. So it's going to be, I have a feeling, much of a transition as far as what they're doing on the show, which is perfectly fine. So a good little jumping on point if you've ever been familiar with Black Lightning, or if you want to try him out and you think it's going to be something cool. I can tell you, I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. So, but it's just the first issue. Next issue could be steaming pile of poop. But at least the first issue is good. So we got Batman 34, and I can say that Joel Jones and Tom King are right now writing one of my favorite Batman stories. This Rules of Engagement storyline, this is the second part. It's all about Catwoman and Batman going to see Talia al Ghul because they need some questions answered and to do some things. Talia al Ghul, as you know, she's the daughter of the head of the demon. So she is a bit of a badass herself, and she is cold-hearted, and she will straight cut a motherfucker. So this is all about them having to go battle to even just speak with Talia al Ghul. Really, really cool stuff. Joel Jones is absolutely killing it on this book. Tom King has found his stride. I've said this before, but he's becoming, I think, what everybody knew he would be, who was familiar with his work, which is he's becoming one of the best Batman writers of all time. Yeah, I said it, and I'm not going to back off of it. His stuff has been great. It's been a different take, and it's been absolutely wonderful. So, Rules of Engagement. We still have the first part. If you're looking for it here, and you can try the second part. Like I said, is out this week. And Jordi Belair did the interior color because Jordi Belair does everything. She's like the Samuel L. Jackson of the colorist world. She does it all. Damian threatens Superman. Amazing. Yeah, Damian will threaten anybody, dude. Damian does not give a crap. He will threaten everybody. He will push your grandmother into traffic if he thinks it would help get him where he needs to go. So we got our Bats Out of Hell number 2. It's the tie-in. It's technically Justice League 32. It's going to talk about we're starting to get into more of the battles of certain members of the Justice League versus their Dark Universe counterpart Batman, and go from there. It's just more of the same of part number 1, where it's these guys are going to do battle. It's going to be fun if you're into just kind of more of like the popcorn flick blockbuster thing. And it'll open the door a little bit about more of these Batman, because these are all Bruce Wayne except for the drowned, who is Bryce Wayne, because the genders are flipped in her universe. So really fun stuff. I've been loving the metal stuff, and so far so good. I'm really hoping that the quality stays the same. We got 2 more of these. We still have Batman the Lost. And we still have, the rest of metal. I keep forgetting there's so many of these books that come out. Typically, I feel like, oh my god, this is too much. This is just like all these books. Nobody's going to read all these. I've been reading all of them. I've actually been enjoying it, which is great. If I'm not getting bored, that's a good thing, because Dan gets bored easy. That'll do it for the DC stuff. Do some Marvel stuff. So, obviously, for a long time, and especially since Secret Empire and whatnot, the big thing is everybody hates what they're doing with Captain America. Everybody cannot stand what they're doing with Captain America. So, well, you finally got your wish, okay? Captain America is back. It's going to be a straightforward Captain America story. This is the first of the legacy issues. This is Home of the Brave Part 1, Captain America number 695, written by the award-winning creative team of Mark Waid, and drawn by blank on his name, Chris Samney, I'm sorry, with Matthew Wilson as well. More of a straightforward Cap storyline. Now that he's no longer connected to the Hydra thing, he still has to go out and deal with the repercussions of his other self being a fascist pig. So this is all about that. He travels to an old town that he had saved once before, and it turns out they're having a Captain America Day, and it kind of goes from there. It's a straightforward Captain America, good as as American as apple pie. Great little superhero story. Good start. If you read Wade and Sam Nee's run on Daredevil, or you read their run on Black Widow, it's quality stuff, man. It's really good. It's going to be a great run. I knew that as soon as I saw they announced the creative team. I'm like, that's to get Captain America back on track. That's going to be that is definitely the creative team to do it for sure. Sam Nee does a little bit more traditional pencils and things too. I mean, it's great stuff so far. So Spider-Man number 234. This is the Miles Morales Spider-Man, the start of his new legacy line. Sinister Six Reborn. It is very much like it says in the title, man. We're getting Spider-Man. Miles Spider-Man is getting his own Sinister Six, which is not a good thing for him, because if you know anything about Peter Parker, anytime he tangled with the Sinister Six, it got bad in a hurry, and it can get very dangerous in a hurry for him and everybody else around you. So really great stuff so far. It's Bendis and I'm sorry, I'm going to mess his name up. Oscar Bazaldua is the artist. The art is absolutely fantastic in this, and it's definitely right for the book for sure. I love the cover as well. So for more of the Miles Spider-Man stuff, it's more of the same, but now he's just getting more foes. And the great thing is with him getting his legacy numbering, Miles is definitely here to stay. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, which is fantastic because he's one of the better characters that they've created over the past decade. And he's got a lot of staying power, so much so that he's going to be in the next Spider-Man game, and people were losing their minds when they found that out. So we're getting ever so close to either a Spider-Man TV show or a Spider-Man movie. I have a feeling, and by Spider-Man I mean Miles Morales, so that'll make a lot of people happy. So great stuff coming out of the Miles book as usual. Bendis is probably going to be writing Miles Morales until he doesn't feel like writing it anymore. So Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy Infinity Quest Part 1. This is the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy's legacy book, obviously. Issue number 146. It's kind of funny because, as you can see on the cover, everybody has joined the Nova Corps. Which to me is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry, but you got Groot standing there in a little Nova Corps costume. That is the best thing ever. So if you've been enjoying the Guardians of the Galaxy book since Duggan took over, I personally have been loving it. It's hilarious. It keeps with the same tone as the movies. I thought the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. I absolutely adore that movie, and this is more of that. So if you enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, you'll definitely enjoy this for sure. So check it out. Absolutely fantastic. So I just got a couple of... Let's see here. I got a couple of indie stuff to talk about, and then probably wrap it up, because tomorrow I am definitely going to be doing more Mario streaming. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's going to be a lot of fun, because I've been loving that stuff for sure. So we got this is a new book from Image. Image. It's called Number One with a Bullet. The writer is Jacob Simon. Artist is George Corona. Colorist Jen Hickman, and Steve Wands was the letter and designer. Aaron Levy is the editor. This book is a little out there, and it's basically about the dangers of social media and what can happen if you've been hacked. A lot of it has to do with she works as an intern for this big nighttime talk host guy. And the whole thing starts off where it's kind of this person got hacked and their sex tape is everywhere, and it kind of goes from there. It was pretty cool, man. I actually really like this, and it's for a first issue, it's just kind of starting out a little bit. It's not setting the world completely on fire just yet, but the artwork is absolutely great for this. I love the coloring of this book. A lot of really big, bold colors. and lots of little boxes, which is great. Very future techie kind of feel to it, which is good because it's very much about the dangers of technology, and it goes from there. Likable characters right away too. I actually really enjoyed the characters so far, so it'll be interesting to see going forward. If you're looking for something new, obviously from Image, number one from With a Bullet is definitely something I think you should check out. I think it just runs you about $3.99, so you can't go wrong. Anything you hate it, you give it to somebody else and it'd be like kind of like, hey, this tastes funny, you should taste this. Same thing. Or this smells funny. Here, you want to smell this? All right, my pick of the week, book I absolutely loved, and it was everything that I hoped it was going to be. Hold on. Mainly because I'm a big fan of things like the BPRD and also Hellboy. I felt this was very similar, and that's the Gravediggers Union. I was looking forward to this book for quite a while. Essentially, it's written by Wes Craig. Toby Cypress is the artist. Nico Guardia is a colorist. Jared K. Fletcher does the letters and design. If you're a fan of things like I said, like BPRD or Hellboy, where there's a little bit of comedy also mixed in with like, this could be the end of the world, this is great because the Gravediggers essentially are like, first few pages you weren't sure, but it got good. Yeah, dude, this thing is awesome. I love this book. Essentially, the Gravediggers Union push back against undead foes and all this other stuff. It's really, really cool, man. It's just a blast. Right now, zombies and all sorts of stuff are popping up left and right. They're trying to keep up with it. You got two of the grizzled veterans who are trying to get to the bottom of everything, and then you got the young dumb rookie who keeps getting in the way. It's very much like a cop buddy drama, only with zombies, vampires, witches, and guys who like to kill stuff with shovels. So it's a blast, man, and I have a feeling it's going to take off, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up as a TV show on something like the CW. I could see it landing on the CW tomorrow, and it would not surprise me at all, because you could keep the budget very simple. It's very Buffy-esque in a way, too, just not with all, like, the cutesy drama, like the teeny bopper drama like Joss Whedon likes to do. So, something new, Gravediggers Union, super fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. But it's time to do a giveaway. Let's give this sucker away. So I've been waiting until the end. Now is the time. Type in what did I say? Exclamation point. I know I changed it. 1 second. Okay. To do the giveaway, the exclamation point is mine. Exclamation point MINE. Mine. So type that into chat, and we'll give it a couple of minutes for people to kind of file in and get it. If you've been hanging out for the whole thing, your odds are definitely increased to get this thing. If you've just been popping in and out just to win something, well, your odds are going to be decreased. Sorry. That's how I do. So, yes, exclamation point mine. Make it yours. Feel it in your cockles. So while I'm waiting for that, I just got one last thing I want to talk about, and that's how much I've been loving the Black Bolt book. This is a cool little jumping on point. If you missed the whole first story arc, really no big deal. All you need to know is that Black Bolt was stuck in a prison, and he's now broken out with Lockjaw and a little girl in tow that he's now kind of taken possession of. Well, not possession, but helping, He's kind of become her guardian in a way, which is great. And they're journeying back to Earth. Really cool stuff. I definitely suggest checking out issues 1 through 6. I don't think we have them all here, but the trade should be coming out sometime in the near future. I suggest picking it up. The artwork is absolutely stunning. It's so different. This is the guest artist, Fraser Irving. I forget the first artist in the first series, but it's very similar. A lot of really bold colors and just way different stuff. Really, really cool. Written by Saladin Ahmed, and I've been enjoying the hell out of this book, and I just like, the Inhumans in general. I used to not care about the Inhumans at all, but Charles Soule's run on Uncanny Inhumans got me onto these guys, and now I'm a big Inhumans fan. I really enjoy it. I really, really do. It's been great stuff, so. But let's give this sucker away. Looks like we only got about 3 people. That's fine. Your odds are in your favor. So, let's see. Here we go. Barista Jim. You have won an All-Star Batman, #1, signed by Scott Snyder with a certificate of authenticity. I will leave it in your box here, sir. You can pick it up as soon as tomorrow if you like. Otherwise, or not. You know, it can be here until the next time you come in. I'm not worried about it. If you're not worried about it, you know, I'll protect it with my life. Except for when I'm not here, then I won't protect it at all. No, man, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in every week, man. So yeah, guys, if this is your first time joining us, appreciate it. Make sure you hit the follow button. We do this usually every Wednesday, right around 8:30, 8:45 p.m. You know, this week it just worked out because I really wanted to see the World Series Game 7, and I wasn't feeling too well on Wednesday. I just felt like I needed to do this, so it'll be cool. Demand a recount. There's only 3 people, man. It's a roll thing. It's on Nightbot. As long as you type in the number, I just hit the button and then it just rolls. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. But I will be giving away something else tomorrow night. So bum bum bum. Tomorrow night I'm going to be streaming right around 7:30 again. But we're just going to do some Mario Odyssey again, and I may or may not have something else to give away. I'll tell you what. I was going to surprise it, but for those of you who stuck around this whole time, Jim, you will not be eligible for this giveaway because you won today. I will be giving away a Dark Knight's Metal #1 signed by Scott Snyder once again. You demand a recount tomorrow too. Okay. What if you win tomorrow? All right, that's fine. So if Bad Wes wins tomorrow, we're going to have a recount, and we're going to make sure we redo it. So that way we appease Bad Wes because he's bad and he's Wes. So yes, Metal #1 signed by Scott Snyder once again with a certificate of authenticity. I will be giving this away tomorrow sometime, but only when I feel like it, because I'm going to be doing some Mario streaming because that game is an absolute blast, man. I hope you guys can join us, but I understand it is Saturday. You guys got to go out and get crunk and get wild and whatnot. So, but yep, tell your friends. Be giving away another comic. Other than that, though, that is it. That is your Warp 9 Wednesday on a Friday. And I am Dan from the internet for Extra Seer Gaming. Good night and good luck. What time tomorrow? Tomorrow will be right around 7:30. It'll be like same time, 7:30. 7:30 until I don't feel like doing it anymore. Typically, I usually go for like an hour, hour and a half, potentially 2 hours. The game's been really fun, so most likely 2 hours. But it also depends on how hungry I am and how much stuff was going on for the, you know, it's Saturday. I do this after work, so it makes a long day for me. Even today was pretty long. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Just make sure you hit the follow button. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.